Hey guys, how's it going? I wanted to do a continuation of the discussion that I had yesterday with my topic, which was the obsession of internet trolls gaming YouTubers. It was a pretty good little discussion. We had some great comments in the comment section. I liked everybody's feedback. It was really interactive, and I had some new topics off of what I saw on there. So I wanted to go ahead and talk about it and kind of elaborate a little bit more on this subject because people seem to confuse calling somebody a troll with somebody that is being, I guess, critical in somebody's content. Constructive criticism is always welcomed as long as it's with a good attitude. It's not being a prick or too overbearing of an asshole. There's a way to give somebody feedback as opposed to going straight to being degrading, derogatory, slandering them, making huge false accusations and stuff. So just to let you know, one example, I think the guy's name was Risky Bandit. He was in the comments. Yeah, it was like something Bandit. They asked me if in the situation where a YouTuber is standing in front of a bunch of games and are asking for donations or monetary help with funding or with bills or anything like that, if somebody says something about them saying, hey, why don't you sell your video games? Does that make them a troll? No. But I'll say maybe in the way that the delivery of the criticism is, it could misunderstandably or I guess indirectly be labeled as trolling. For example, if I see somebody saying, hey, I need help, blah, 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 there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I know you're asking for help, but you have a whole bunch of games behind you. Why don't you consider selling them off? In a tone. It's all in tone and delivery. Now, if somebody says, hey, you piece of worthless crap, you're entitled and you're this and that and you're a filthy fucking, it's all in the delivery, guys. That's why people get labeled as trolls and things like that. Now, I've never been in this situation to where I have to stand in front of camera and ask you guys for financial compensation for a medical emergency, God forbid, knock on wood, or some kind of house emergency. Everybody's situation's different, though. And it all around, it's all in the delivery of how somebody's tone, as far as giving criticism goes, to how somebody's going to react. You personally wouldn't like somebody to come at you for some situation with some kind of I guess, any kind of amount of derogatory or degrading type of attitude, right? Goes both ways. On one hand, you might see somebody that's in front of really rare and expensive games, and it might be off-putting to hear them ask for help or some kind of emergency situation. But when it comes to the way that you project your criticism to people, that's where people it's like a fine line, because there's constructive criticism and then there's being a complete asshole where you're slandering them, making up other stuff. You're going beyond the topic of criticism, right? It's one thing to tell somebody, hey, you should sell off your shit instead of asking people for money, and then leave it there. Don't continue on to all this other fan fiction that you're going to make about people, where these people are terrible parents and they probably do this, or this guy's a pedophile, or this guy does this and lives at mommy's home, or whatever the fuck you're going to say. The fine line is criticize whatever you're looking at, leave it there. But when you start to project into the other zone, when you get into that unhealthy zone, that's where it starts to get into the area that's labeled trolling. Okay, it's like a gray area in the middle where maybe stuff might come and go, but ultimately it's in the way that both sides communicate. It's in how the creator takes it, and it's in how the commentator takes it. And it's important to try to keep a balance between that, but you are going to still face people that are going to have some kind of weird fixation on you, was my point. It's important to understand that trolls that are often fixated on a particular person or a topic, whether it's a gaming console, whether it's a video game, whether it's a group of people eventually reach a point where it's no longer critiquing, you know what I mean? Where it's no longer about what you're disagreeing on. It becomes an obsession where it could even get really erratic, even dangerous at points when they cross this line. When they start to believe whatever delusions they have against what they're disagreeing with. You know what I mean? If you cross that line again, let's say somebody makes a video saying that Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is going to be complete crap and that Nintendo is unoriginal and blah, blah, blah. Being critical is maybe saying, hey, you know, such and such, I disagree with your opinion. I think the game is going to be the complete opposite. And you can disagree, you can agree to disagree, you can have a different opinion, and leave it that. Maybe say, hey, I didn't like your video, your talking points were weak, blah, 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 and then that's it. But then if you're like, hey, you fat fuck, you know nothing about video games, you're a fake gamer, you're a fraud, and you're a fucking pedo, and blah, 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 that's not constructive. That's not constructive at all right? And then, you know, then it goes a step further. Let's say that person makes videos about your one video about Zelda and your opinion, and then they get a community of people that start to get, like, I guess, a whole bunch of, like, fan-fictional delusions and behavior that eventually it starts to cross a line where they justify their hatred for your opinion to other avenues of your life, who you are as a person, your family, other opinions, where you work and stuff like that. And they justify it as being virtuous, like a saint, or doing something good to help humanity, all over a fucking YouTube video. They start to believe that they're in some kind of strange internet beef with a person over an opinion or a game or something. And even if there's no evidence to support any claims that they may say about that person, like let's say that they say that this person is some kind of weird pedo or whatever, and that this person is this, or they do this, or they engage in that, the whole community over there starts to just immediately just get sucked into this tunnel vision where they just automatically use anything to justify their behavior. In fact, it could be something as simple as blocking one of these guys in your comment section, which in my case, that's happened in the past. Blocking somebody might cause them to become delusional and unhinged enough to where they engage in behavior such as stalking, harassment, even threats, all in the name of some weird fantasy war that they believe themselves to be in, even if they're not acknowledged at all by that YouTube content creator. They'll just fucking endlessly and relentlessly do that. And again, with my last video, what I meant with that is that's where the projection comes. That's where the insecurities come. That's where these people have to have some kind of thing. And this is how cancel culture, not just internet trolls, but cancel culture as a whole, that's how it works. Because those people have to feel like they're a part of something, that they have something substantial in their life to give them something to live for, to validate them. That's why internet trolls that are fucking obsessed, or cancel culture, that's why it exists, because those people need something. They need something to identify as. It's just simple psychology. Now, in my case, as far as dealing with trolls, don't feed the trolls, aka ignoring them, is often the best approach. Responding to a troll can often make the situation worse. Trust me on this. It gives them attention. It gives them validation that they're seeking. And honestly, instead, it's best to block or mute them and move on. But sometimes that just doesn't work. Sometimes people just continue anyway. But it's also to remember, in the long run, there's no one out there that can truly cancel you or judge you except yourself, right? So again, like I said in the past, somebody's comments about you, whether they're real or wrong or made up or unwarranted, never really reflect who you are as a person. At the end of the day, it's just their opinion, and it really doesn't matter. It doesn't reflect who you are, and you shouldn't take it to heart. If you're a content creator and you're just dipping your toes in this, and all this kind of like feedback, whether it's constructive or whether it's trolling, is too much for you, just remember at the end of the day, nobody can really reflect who you are except yourself. Nobody can cancel you except yourself. And just ignore it. You're in control of your own thoughts, your own actions, your own opinions, and ultimately, you're the one who knows truly who you are. Okay, so again, being in control of your own thoughts and actions, that's something that often at times is hard to learn, because we're all human. We're not perfect. You know, it's important to realize that we all make mistakes. There may be times that we actually do react to a troll in a way that we later regret. And I will give you a perfect example. I mentioned earlier that I had to deal with somebody that has basically been in the past where I block them, they get unhinged. And at the time, I handled it the wrong way. I tried to troll back, which is mistake number one, guys. Don't try to troll trolls back. I created a fake profile, and while I regret my actions, I know it definitely was not the right approach. I also recognize that it was a result of the level of harassment that I was dealing with. Being told to kill yourself on Twitter every day for weeks took its toll. You know what I mean? I'm only human, just like I said, and it can be difficult to maintain a level head in the face of such vitriol. You know, if somebody's coming at you with a lot of venom and they get to you, it starts to get to your head, even though it really shouldn't. At the end of the day, you know, I wasn't prepared for it. Now I am. Now I could care less. You know what I mean? So we should all be, you know, wanting to strive for understanding and understanding why people might be the way they are, and just let it roll, because they're the ones who are unhappy if they're coming at you that terribly to where they're making a situation worse over content. Again, just to reiterate, if they're being critical of your content, they don't have the tone, they don't have the malicious intent. It's criticism, and we're all going to get that. Nobody is immune to criticism. If somebody wants to tell me they don't like my content, if they wish that I would make something else, if they're tired of some kind of topic, that's all fair. I'm going to respond with, thank you for the feedback. I'll make the content that I want because it's my channel. And at the end of the day, we could part off. But let's say somebody comes at me with some kind of BS. That's where you can, you know what I mean? Like what I'm saying. So, again, being targeted by trolls, it's nothing new to the internet. It comes with the territory. The best thing to do is just be true to yourself. Be true to who you are. Don't stoop down to anybody else's level, because there always will be people who don't like you, no matter what. And it's okay. It is fucking fine for somebody not to like you. It's impossible to please everyone, and you shouldn't try to anyway. You will go nuts trying to wrap your head around that. You should just focus on being the best version of yourself that you could be. And I know that sounds cheesy and cliche, but just don't worry about what others think or say about you. Because, again, nobody can judge you except yourself. Nobody could do anything to you unless you allow it. So remember, at the end of the day, we're all worthy of love and respect. Even the naysayers, even the people that you don't care about, no matter what anyone else thinks or says, you know, just let it roll. So, yeah, these were just some thoughts that I wanted to talk about to continue the topic. I feel that I'm in a good place. I'm liking the channel where it's at. I like the comments. I like the feedback I've been getting and all the support from you guys. So, yeah, we're going to keep on keeping on. I know some people are like, dude, you shouldn't give it. I personally don't feel like I'm being attacked at all. And I don't have anything that is bothering me. You know what I mean? So I've learned how to deal with it. And if you're a new creator and you're getting any kind of, I guess, negative feedback and stuff, just let it roll. I know some of the YouTubers I used in my thumbnail that you watched, they've been subject to some big criticism from people in recent years for various reasons, whether they're true or not, whether they're made up or not, whether it's anything that they might have did or anything that anybody's come up with or speculated on. Just know that if you're new to this, there's been plenty of people that have been making videos for years that have been dragged through the mud, whether it's warranted or not. And it honestly doesn't matter. You know what I mean? All that really matters is how you react to it. And don't stoop to the level, like the mistake that I mentioned with trying to troll back with a fake profile. Don't do it, because honestly, it's best to just be who you are. So move forward, continue to make the content that you want, and just enjoy it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching.